Hello, everyone.
Well, we're back.
We're back, and it was brought to our attention. We actually recently made a releases video of people that got released by the company.
Wait a minute. Can we talk about my hat for just a moment?
Not long enough. That's long enough. Okay. Anyway,
it's a new hat.
It was brought to our attention by several of our loyal fans that we forgot several names.
We did, and people mentioned things. In fact, let's save for last.
We'll save for last one in particular that we didn't even know about.
I know.
So we're going to start with our second releases video. This is part 2 of our recent WWE releases.
Correct.
So we will jump straight into this thing, and we will start with a big, rather obese fellow,
overweight daddy,
by the name of Big Daddy Fat.
Overweight Father V.
Do you have much to say about Big Daddy V?
You know, I was a little surprised. We gave a, well, not a shout out. We mentioned a friend of ours by the name of WWE Review Guy UK,
who's back.
That's right, he's back. He talked about Kozlov, but then he responded to our last releases video saying he likes Kozlov now, which surprises me. However, in that video, he also said that he likes Big Daddy V, or he liked Big Daddy V as an ECW heel.
Big Daddy V, he had been around a long time as just originally Mabel.
Mabel, yeah.
Was his first name. And he'd been around a long time, never really... He won the King of the Ring back as Mabel, but other than that, he'd never really accomplished much until the Big Daddy V gimmick.
Okay.
And it was different. I didn't particularly care for it, mainly because I just wanted him to wear a shirt. I mean, let's be honest.
The suspenders weren't enough?
Not really.
Look, the suspenders cover...
They didn't even cover his nipples.
No, they covered the nipples about 20% of the time. People, let's.
Hardly enough. Anyway, so, to me, it's not a shocker. Oh, good God, you have a hole in your roof. Anyway, I have no idea where that came from.
Yes, if you've been following the action.
I wasn't disappointed by his release.
Here was my problem with Big Daddy V, and I pointed this out to our friend, Dave, I think his name is. My problem with Big Daddy V is he was just this big force who always won. He was this monster figure who never lost.
And how many of those do we have?
Right. So when I started watching, again, I haven't been watching forever, and I will gladly admit that. But yeah, I started watching ECW, and Big Daddy V came in. It was squash match, squash match after squash match. Mark Henry, the same thing.
Kali, the same thing.
Kali, but Boogeyman, even Boogeyman, who eventually, who I think has a good gimmick, but never really clicked into place. He was squash match continually, so that's why I never really was a fan of Big Daddy V, and I don't really miss him. I don't really miss that character.
Yeah.
So
the next two we're gonna do as a duo. We're gonna talk about Domino and Cherry.
Domino and his lovely girlfriend.
They were members of a team.
Yes.
Was it Dom? No, he was the one. They were sisters.
Deuce and Domino. Oh wait, one was the sister and one was the girlfriend.
Yeah.
Wait. She was the sister and girlfriend.
Even Domino that got released, or was it Deuce that got released?
No, it was Domino.
Okay.
I think.
We're not certain. Shows you how much we really like these guys.
But anyway. I felt kind of bad, and I'll tell you why I feel bad. Because the one that remains, who I think is Deuce, remains
solely because of his
Jimmy's Superfly Snuka
parentage, right?
But he's nothing special. He's no more special than his counterpart that is no longer with us.
Exactly. When's the last time you saw him do anything on Raw? I think once or twice he's been on Raw.
Yeah, I think he lost a couple of weeks ago.
I mean, Domino to me was not a shock. Cherry to me was a bit of a shock because people liked her,
and they were building her up. They were getting her ready for a.
So I don't know what happened.
Something.
I don't know what happened there. I don't know if they're again just trying to cut cost. But I mean, then why do you bring all these new divas in if you're trying to cut cost? I mean, you got the Bella twins, and there's, do they get paid for one person's salary? Or
I think that's the trick.
How does that work?
I think Linda McMahon was like, "Okay, Vince, I got it.
We'll hire them. But we're just gonna pay him for one person."
Bray Bella.
Makes sense. So
does she talk like that? Or did I?
No, not really.
That was kind of Linda McMahon / Jeff Hardy. So. Anyway, so but I was liking Cherry, and I think they were building her up to be a very strong face diva. But in the scheme of things, let's be honest.
She did get lost in the shuffle.
What good is a face diva?
Yeah, really.
Seriously.
I mean, there's a billion of them, so she got kind of lost in the shuffle. Next up was a bit of a I was a little saddened by this. I don't know why, but I was. Trevor Murdoch.
And I'll tell you right before, and this is what kills me though. Right up to their release, they're doing something.
They're doing something with all of them, which to me it
Colin
shows
Delaney, same thing.
That they realize that they're in a bit of a conundrum, if you will, and they better try to come up with some idea for these people. So they're trying new things.
I'm going to do my analogy before all is said and done. Before we get to this one, I'm going to do my analogy, but not yet. But Trevor, they were doing the the singing thing.
Yeah.
I thought it was funny.
I didn't particularly care for it very much, but that's just
what?
I'm not a big country music fan.
But that's
I'm
not the
sorry
point.
for everyone that is.
That's not the point. The point is the way he did it, and it was kind of out of nowhere, and he thought he was better than he was, even though he wasn't bad. I liked it. Okay. And I was sorry that they killed not only him, but they killed that bit, which I thought was a fairly strong thing to carry from week to week.
Fair enough, fair enough.
Are we ready for the last one?
We are ready for the last one.
And not Big Daddy V.
This honestly was a shock.
I didn't know.
I didn't know either.
It was your comments to the last video that made me realize, and then I filled him in after I did my little research, because I research everything thoroughly. I don't just,
Yeah.
Lance Cade.
Shocker. And really a shocker.
And not only, but we probably should have noticed that he hadn't been following around
well, it shows, I mean,
they really didn't have
didn't amount to much.
That gimmick wasn't, or that thing. If you don't know, and I'm sure everybody knows by now, because I'm just shocked that we didn't know.
If we know, you know, obviously.
So Lance Cade had a seizure on an airline flight, mid-flight, I guess, and he
had a bit of a drug problem.
Right, and it was supposedly a prescription drug issue. He was rushed to the hospital, and because A, it was a public thing, and B, it was a life and death thing. Yeah, they just went ahead and
I mean, I'm sure there's probably some people out there that are gonna make the the Hardy reference, if you will.
He did have an issue with an airline not too long ago. I don't know if you remember that.
That's true. But the difference between Jeff and even Regal, is they weren't life-threatening situations.
Right. It was a really big deal.
Yeah, this was a bigger deal because the man had a seizure on a plane. That's not something you take lightly.
Okay, I would like to do my analogy now, even though it is now a bad time since we've talked about Lance Cade, who had a very serious issue. Here's my analogy. Everybody, maybe you have seen the plate spinners. Back in the vaudeville days, you would have guys spinning plates. They had like 5 sticks, and they would spin a plate on one, then they would go to the next stick, and they would spin a plate. They would go all the way, oh, see, this is wonderful. Had I not stepped on the stick, see, it's a little bit, uh-oh.
You broke it.
Anyway,
this is not a plate, but just for reference.
Theoretically. So anyway, they spin the plates on all the sticks, and then when they get to the last stick, they realize that the first plate is wobbling. They have to go back and spin that one. I really hope you people have seen plate spinners. Anyway, that's what the writers are doing. And that's why it's a tough job, this writing, is that they have all these careers that are basically plates spinning, and they focus on Jericho, or let's take ECW. They focus on somebody. And while they're doing that, while they're spinning that plate, Elijah Burke's plate is going like this.
It falls and crumbles.
And people have, and I don't want to draw too much attention to this, but some people have thrown the racism word out. I don't think it's racism as much as it is. I don't think it's not an overt racism.
The thing about it is you got to remember there's so many people that work for this company, and they're really, I mean, they have 5 hours of programming every week. It's not.
You did that math in your head.
I did.
That's very good.
They don't have enough time to showcase everyone.
Right. And
so you're gonna get some people that get mixed
while they're
shuffle.
Spinning this plate, this guy's plate is gonna fall.
Yeah. So eventually,
have I made that analogy clear enough? do I need to do more hand motions? I feel like
I think they got it.
Okay.
So anyway, that's it. We're out of time. We did have something else we wanted to touch on, but we're out of time.
Yes. Sorry. But if I can do this a little bit more.
You done?
And then Oh.
That's it.
So there you have it. Maybe on YouTube you'll see a plate spinner. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, look up plate spinning on YouTube. Peace.